Hey y'all, today we are setting up our garden planting calendar, but before we begin, the first thing I would like to do is apologize for one. This is a little later than what I usually do. Life has been really crazy. We have a family member that has been in the ICU for well over a week, and we also have all been sick. We thought we were getting better, and it came back with round two and knocked us to the ground. So if we go silent on YouTube, it's because we're struggling to survive, but we're doing a little bit better, so hopefully we keep on that track. But I thought we would go ahead and get this video done and get this out because to me this is really important. This has helped my garden so much to do my garden planting this way. I use the moon phases and the astrological signs to track what days are best to plant when, and this has made such a big difference in my garden. So I am a big believer in this method. So if I only had one method to choose, I would do gardening and doing this with the moon phases. So we are going to begin the month in the dark moon phase just for one day. So I guess technically this has already happened, but it's okay. It was just flowering days on this day, so it's no big deal. It was a below ground, so that wouldn't work anyways. But we also had the new moon, so to represent the new moon, that's basically when there is no moon. It's like the darkest of the dark. So whenever we go to there, so it's already been like the lightest part, or this is the darkest part, so we're do the below ground plants, we're gonna move on to the above ground plants. So we're gonna change this way, and because we're moving closer to the light. Sorry if that confused you. I'm still struggling to make it here. My brain is not working the best. So since we're moving closer to the light, we are gonna be in the light moon phase, and that means we are gonna be planting our above ground crops. So for us, where we're at, this is almost fall time, and this is the time we're gonna be planting out like broccoli and kales and cauliflower and those types of things. I've already got my plants started. I need to get them transplanted. We have been sick, so I basically just got them started and not got them potted up. They're getting really leggy and really need more space, but they are really trying. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. Other things we do is like lettuce, things like that. They're doing really good. I'm ready to get them out there, though. I think probably some sunlight and some fresh air would be good. We've been like stuck inside with all this illness. Okay, so see, I'm done messing up. I'm sorry. I'm struggling here, but we're trying. So on the 17th, that is going to be the full moon, and that happens at 10:34 p.m. So basically, technically, this day is an above ground day, and then we switch to the below ground day. So now that we've had our lightest day, we're moving on to the dark day. So then we switch to the below ground crops, or the dark moon phase. So we're going to stay in the dark moon phase all the way until, let's see, what day? Oh, we are going to be in the dark moon phase for quite some time, all the way until, what was it, October, let's see, October 2nd, and then it changes into the light moon phase, let's see, at 2:49 p.m. So that one's definitely one of these days where it's above ground and below ground. So that's what we are here. So we begin and end the month with the dark moon phase. Now that is like my number one if I could only do this. I actually started doing this like shortly after I started gardening over 10 years ago, and noticed a difference with that, and then I started learning more about it and learned that you could also track with the astrological signs. Now I know that sounds like really woo-woo. Some people like steer away from it because it kind of sounds like pagan. Some people don't like that. But actually I was doing some more research and found out that all of this method came from the Hellenistic period, which comes from like the Greeks and the Romans. So it's just like really old methods that farmers used to use. So I think that's really, really cool. So the first few days, the 1st through the 3rd here, are the astrological sign is Virgo, the bowels, and this one is a flowering day. So I know it is already past, but I'm gonna try and explain how to do this. So since all your flowers are above ground, it would not be the way I do it anyways, is it would not be a good day to do it on the 1st because it's a below ground day, but the 2nd and 3rd would be great days, like for us, this would be good things to do, like calendula and pansies and different plants like that that can usually survive the winter time. Then we're gonna move on to the 4th through the 6th. And also, these astrological signs, they just fall on different days in the calendar month, but they mean the same thing each time. So like Virgo will always be a flowering day, and then the next one is Libra the rains, so it will also always be a flowering day. So like I said, the signs change and they fall on different days, and sometimes they're only 2 days or 3 days. So it's a little confusing that way, but they still represent the same thing. So like I was saying, Libra the rains is also a flowering day. So we'll write that down. And so all of these days are really, really good days to get all of those winter flowers in where we're at. If y'all are in the the other hemisphere, it would be good. Y'all could get other plants. It would be like spring for y'all. So that's pretty exciting. Then on the 7th and the 8th, our astrological sign is Scorpio the Secrets. So we'll write that down. And Scorpio is a very fertile day. So this is like the best of the best days to plant. And it's above ground too. So this would be a good day, like for me, it would be a really good day to do like my potting up or transplanting. I still got to like harden off my plants. We've been sick, so I have not done any of that. So I may be way too behind this year, but hopefully I can manage it. But it would be a great day to especially do potting up. And of course you got to do the hardening off too. But these 2 days are great days for that. And then we're going to move on to Sagittarius the thighs. So we'll write that. And these signs also have other meanings. I'll try and go over that a little bit more later. I don't have all of them, but I'll just kind of glance over a few just to give you an idea. So Sagittarius is a fertile day. So this is kind of a so-so day. It's kind of not either good or bad. It's just kind of so-so, but I have noticed a very, very small difference in planting on fertile days versus very fertile days. So it's really not that big of a deal. I know life can get busy and crazy and you can't always do things on the exact day that you want. So just do the best that you can. I don't 100% follow this, but whenever I do follow it, I find that my garden does so much better. Okay, so the next few days is Capricorn the knees. So we'll write that out. Here we go. And that one is also a fertile day. So, like I was saying, this is so-so, not really good, not really bad, but it's still a decent day to plant. Like you pretty much go from very fertile to fertile, and then you have other days, but it's a great day. Like I've still had really good results with planting on this day. And then the next 2 days is Aquarius the legs. And we need to draw our line here. Aquarius the legs, and that is another very fertile day. So, or actually, no, it's not very fertile. I'm sorry. This is a fertile day. So it's so-so again. So we've got like a long period of so-so days, and they're all above ground. So we've got like a long time to get all those crops in before it changes to the dark moon phase. Okay, so then after that, we are going to have even better days. So this one is Pisces the feet, and this is very fertile days. So this is the best of the best, and this is like your last chance to get in those above ground crops. So I better get busy because I do not have a whole lot of time. And then we're gonna switch to the full moon, and then we're gonna move to the dark moon phase. So on this day, you could do all of your above ground plants, but I wouldn't do your below ground plants unless if you're planting in the dark, because it says like 10:30 something p.m. So I would just wait on that. And some people also say that it is not a good idea to plant on the days where it is changing from dark to light. I really haven't tracked that enough to know if there's much of difference with that, but that would be something cool that you could try and track. It's really fun to experiment and kind of take notes and see what a difference these things make. I have really been shocked at my results. You know, whenever I first started this, I didn't really think much of it and kind of thought it was all really woo-woo. And then I started tracking things and my mind was just completely blown at how much better they really do. Okay, so after that, we are going to have the Aries, the head. That is the sign here. Now, Aries is always what I call it a killing day. But this is the day where you don't do any planting, like you don't do any seed starting, any transplanting. I try and reserve these days for weeding. That I find does the best. Like the weeds stay down a lot better. So that is what I try and do on these days, and I have tested this. Like I unfortunately had planted a perennial on a killing day and it is not doing well at all. Like I planted other plants like a few days prior and it did so much better on a very fertile day, and the one on the killing day is not doing well at all. So I am a big believer they were the same kind of plant and everything. So I am a really big believer in this one. And also we sometimes have what's called ember days. And some people don't like to plant on this. I'm still kind of on the fence on this. I have not tracked this enough to know whether it makes a big difference or not. But if you just want to like err on the side of caution, I would say don't plant on this day, which I wouldn't plant anyways because it's a killing day. But on the 18th is an ember day. So then we have the 20th and the 21st. So these are Taurus the neck. And this is a very fertile day. So this would normally be like the best of the best days to plant your below ground crops like your beets, turnips, radishes, carrots, those types of things. But these 2 days are ember days. Now, if you want to try it and test it and see, I would love to hear y'all's results if y'all notice anything and how everything works for you. But if it was me, I would try and not plant on these days. So I think that would be a lot better. It has been so hot here. We have still been 100-degree heat indexes, high 90s, and it's been really, really hot here. So I did not get to these last month, and plus we've been going through a drought and still have yet to get any rain. So, or any measurable rain. It's, if you want to call it sprinkling, maybe it's done that a few times, but it's not even enough to get the whole ground fully wet. So we are going through a really big drought, and I like to just direct sow these types of crops, and the ground is really struggling right now, and I've been sick and don't think I have energy to water that every day. So I have been just putting that off and putting that off. So I will probably get that done later on in the month. Hopefully we will be feeling better. Okay, so then we're going to move on to the 22nd and the 23rd, and I'm so excited that the 22nd is the first day of fall, supposedly at 8:44 a.m. So I am so excited for that. I'm just ready for it to start feeling like fall. We are in Arkansas, and it is super, super hot here. Okay, so this one is Gemini the Arms. I love this one. This is the day, or the thing that you plant on this day is the bean and peas. I have found that my plants do so good whenever I plant them on this. I think it's really funny too, because you think of arms, it's the beans and peas have the little tendrils. I think that is so funny, and it really has. Like, I had struggled with peas for years and years and years, and I started to use this system, and I finally was able to get that beautiful wall of peas like I had always dreamed of. So I am a big believer in this, but for us where we're at, it is way too late to plant anything like this, and peas can't survive the winter here, so I don't even mess with planting peas. Also, it would not be the best day to plant peas because it's a below ground crop. So I would probably wait, and if you did have peas to do, I would try and do it like on the 16th or 17th, something like that, if that was me. But for where we're at, it's like out of the question to plant anything like that. Okay, so now we're on to the 24th and the 25th. This is Cancer, the breast, and this one is a very fertile day. So this is like another best of the best day. So if you're worried about these being the ember days, this would be a good day to get all of those root crops in. And then we are going to have the 26th all the way through to the 28th. This is Leo the Heart, and this is another killing day. So this is like a no planting day. Do all your weeding and things like this. I have even heard of people doing like mowing and things like that, and it killing the grass. Like if you're somebody that doesn't want to have grass, I've heard that it's done that. And this is like a good day if you have a field you need to bush hog or something like that. Those are also great things to do on this day. So it's a great day to take advantage of those type of things. And then we're going to move on to the 29th and the 30th. And if you will notice, we're starting over. So that is Virgo the Bowels. So we'll write that in. Since we're looking here, Virgo the Bowels is a flowering day. So that is pretty cool. We just start back over and see how it changes. Like this day we had one below ground and one above ground, and both of these are below ground. So there's really not that many great days for flowering at the beginning and the end of the month, but we have good days here. Okay, so I think that's everything until October. That would be the 2nd when we change the moon phases. We'll go from a dark moon to a light moon. So we'll start the month again in the dark moon phase. There have been a lot of those this year. Okay, let's see. Other things that to remember is if you are doing like gravel or fence posts or stepping stones or anything like that in the garden, that is best to do in the above ground phases or the light moon phase. I know this sounds really, really crazy, but I have tried this, and if you do this in the dark moon phase, they sink into the ground a lot worse. Like it is really, really wild. Like it's crazy if you pay attention to these tiny little details of things that you notice. But I am a big believer in that. So like I said, if you have like fence posts, gravel, stepping stones, those types of things, do those in the light moon phase. And let's see, I'm trying to remember. Other things I always am trying to learn and am looking into things. So some things that I learned about is the signs in the head. So like the Aries, the Leo, the Sagittarius, anything with like the fire sign, those are good to do like canning and cooking and things like that. Also, seed saving is good to do on like the dry, barren signs, as well as harvesting. That is really good days to do it. That's like Aries and Aquarius. Those are both good days for that. Another thing is if you make sauerkraut. I know a lot of people like to make that. That is a good day to do with Aries the head. And a lot of people say that it's good to do because like the things that look alike. So like you've got your head of cabbage, so that would be a good day to do on Aries the head. And I think that's so funny. I always, whenever I go to the garden and I do things, I always think that's so funny with the cabbage head. I always think of Alice in Wonderland with like off with their head. I always think that whenever I'm harvesting the cabbage. So I thought that was kind of funny. And then also mowing and weeding and things like that. If you're not doing it on a killing day, other good days to do that is in the dark moon phase. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. So like I was saying before, that this day would be good for like cabbage and onions, also onions too, because you have a head of onions. That would be really good to do on that day. Let's see. Also, a really neat thing that I just learned too, like Virgo the Bowels, that is both a blooming and a barren day. So this would be a good day to do both seed saving and seed starting. So especially like here with the above ground. So you could harvest, say, like your zinnia seeds and also plant zinnia seeds at the same time. So I thought that was really interesting. I had never thought of it that way and until I heard that, so I thought that was really cool. Also a lot of people plant bulbs too. I totally forgot about that would be something good to do. A lot of people do that in the fall, and that would probably be best to do on these days or whenever the moon phases change. If it works out to where there's flowering days in the above ground, that would be a good day to do that as well. And so, for example, what some of these astrological signs mean, for example, Capricorn is like earth, it's like the earth sign, it's a moist sign, it means productive and feminine. And then if we go to Aquarius, it is the Aries sign, it's the dry, it means barren and masculine. And like the beans, the Gemini with the beans, that means airy and dry. So I thought that was really interesting. So you could probably do the same thing. Like this would be a great day to harvest your seeds from your beans and peas and those types of things. So I thought that was really, really cool. And you have a lot of people think of this too in like clumps. So kind of like the four elements, they kind of think of it that way. Like you have your air, your water, your fire, and your earth. And I thought that was really, really cool. And it is kind of, I was talking earlier about how anything in the fire sign would be really, really good to like can and things like that, because now is the time and we're really starting to try and get as much put up as we can because winter is fast approaching. So those are great things to do, and for us the garden really is an extension of the kitchen, so that is great. Where we're at, we do not have our frost until usually towards the end of October or the 1st of November. It just depends on the year. So we still have a little bit to go, but we need to at that time get all of our like sweet potatoes out of the ground and everything else that we can, like all the peppers and herbs and those types of things. But if y'all live more north, y'all have that coming up really, really soon. So keep your last frost dates in mind. And something else that I do is I kind of make me a little cheat sheet here to remember everything I need to do for this month. So I need to be sure and transplant all of my fall plants. I need to start all of my root crops. Keep up on watering because we have still yet to get any rain. Fertilize, I sometimes fertilize in September. And sometimes I don't make it all the way through the end of the month because we're getting so close to the end. I kind of am done with the garden, so I'm not sure if I will get to every one of the fertilizing. I do that every 2 weeks, and I have videos showing my homemade fertilizers if you'd like to check that out. Also need to keep up on weeding and harvesting and preserving. Remember to do all of our seed saving because we are quickly running out of time. I like to put sulfur on the blueberries a couple times a year, so that's something else I do. And I just kind of keep a list of the different things we need to harvest, just the normal things. But if you are growing moringa, I have found that it is best to harvest it whenever it's 50 degrees, because if it gets below 50 degrees, the leaves start turning yellow and they'll just fall off and aren't any good. So that is a little reminder for me here, because as we start to get a little bit colder at night, I need to remember that. And if y'all have any suggestions of where to get good moringa seeds, I have been on the lookout for some for years and have yet to find some that actually germinate. I'm not looking for like the mini moringas, I'm looking for the really tall moringas. We grew that years ago and they were taller than our house, and I was super happy about that and love them so much. But where we're at, they do not have enough of time to flower and go to seed, so I couldn't save seed. But if y'all have any idea of where to go, like online, I know some people said certain markets, like I think they said like Asian markets you could get them, but I don't have anything like that around here, so it definitely would need to be online. But if y'all have any suggestions, please leave that down in the comments below. I would really appreciate that. Also, other things that I keep track of is in September and October, we usually have the spider lilies come up. They are super, super pretty and I love them so much. And I know this technically isn't a flower, but I love to go to the parks, like state parks and stuff. They have several plants that I know of on trails and stuff with the beautyberry fruit, and I just think it's so pretty. It's this vibrant purple color and I just love it so much. So I like to always go and look at that too because I think it's super, super pretty. But I think that's everything that I had for our month. I hope that y'all's gardens are producing well and y'all are doing great. Nobody's sick or anything. Y'all leave me a comment down below and let me know how everyone's doing. And I hope this was helpful to y'all. Thank y'all all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all take care and we'll see you next time. Bye.